That's right. You're not going to stop until you win. Good morning, you guys. First of all, let me just tell you, I'm outside. My son is on his iPad eating a banana, so you're going to hear him screaming and yelling. This is just what it looks like when you work from home and you work around your kid, okay, or kids if you have a lot of children. So I hope you guys are doing awesome. I actually have some notes for you guys. I am going to speak from my heart, but I'm also going to speak from some notes. And that is that one of the things that has really been present for me in the last 2 weeks, okay? And that is how many times, hi Barbara, I cannot wait to get your donuts, girl. I'm so excited. Sergio told me you're coming. I'm like, ah! But anyhow, so one of the things that's been really, really present for me in the last 2 weeks is how many of us, including me, have a lack of vision for their life. That's my son. Okay, you're just going to have to, this is how it goes when you work from home. This is how it goes, okay? So how many times do we have a lack of vision? Yay, Barbara. A lack of vision for our lives and a lack of vision for our business. Now, I will tell you personally, I will confess, having a vision for my business has never really been that big of a struggle for me. But when it comes to having a vision for your life, I was like, so, I don't know if you guys followed me, but I did the business mastery with Anthony Robbins several months ago. And along with that came coaching. So every Monday I was having a coaching session with one of the Anthony Robbins coaches. And one of the topics I was telling her is that why is it that I get bored so easily? I think we did a live on this a while back. It's like, if you didn't watch it, go back and watch it. I forgot the title of it, but it went there because somebody was like, me too. It's like, why do I get bored so easily? And why do I love changing things around? And and I was like telling her that, I find myself starting things and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. And then I get distracted. And then from the distraction comes discouragement. And then I'm like, oh man, there I go again. And sometimes I'll get back on track, right? But a lot of times I don't. And I'm on to the next thing, right? And so we did a live a while back ago, and a lot of people on the live were commenting like, yeah, me too. So if that's you, put me on the chat, do you get bored easily? Do you like to change things around? Do you find yourself not following through completely on the things that matter and that you say that you really want to follow through on? So I asked her, so put me on the chat if that's you. So I asked her, why do we do that? And why do I do that? And here's what she said. She said, the reason why, Sebastian, go sit over there, baby. The reason why we get so distracted and discouraged and bored is because we have a lack of vision. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, yeah, the reason we get distracted and we get bored is because, Sebastian, go sit over here, Papa. Go sit over here. It's because we have a lack of vision for our lives and or our business. And so she asked me, what's your vision for your life? And I was like, what do you mean? I don't know. I want to be happy. I want to make money. I said very generic things, right? And I'm not going to go into the whole conversation that I had with her, but that was on a Monday. On a Tuesday, I got together with some of my entrepreneur friends. We had lunch here at the house. And I asked them, do you have a vision for your life? And to my surprise, neither of them did. They had a vision for their business, like, oh, I'm going to build this and I'm going to sell it. I'm going to do this. And they had a vision for their business, but not a vision for their life. And some of them didn't even have a clear vision for their business. Okay. And so it's been in the back of my mind, and it's been like, gosh, what does it look like? And why is it so important to have a vision? So I really hope that this live serves some of you guys. If you, first and foremost, if you're the type of person, I have some great news for you, by the way, okay? Because if you're the type of person that you're driven, you want more out of life, and you're kind of, maybe you go to work and you're like, there's got to be another way. Or maybe you're at home with your children and you're like, I want to do more with my life. I want my life to matter more than just being a mom. Like, that is the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. Okay, but I don't want to be just a mom. I don't want to be just somebody that's going to be defined as a mother. I want to be a mother and a wife and a friend and a businesswoman. I want to be successful. I want to make an impact. Like, I want all of that, okay? And here's the thing, I feel that a lot of women, we got to stop being apologetic about wanting it all. Like, we really need to own. The other day I was coaching somebody. Yesterday I was coaching someone, and they were like, well, kind of, and I was like, you need to own your success. Like, there's nothing shameful about you being a total, excuse my language, badass. For you to be someone, I love all the comments, I'm reading them, by the way, okay? For you to be someone that's like matters, and for you to be someone that really, really wants to make an impact and be more than just a mom. Being a mom is great, but let's not be defined by just that, I think. Now, that's you, that's great, okay? But for another person, yes. So as why was I saying that? In this process, I've been thinking, man, if I'm struggling with this, I can only imagine how many other people struggle with really creating a vision. So stay tuned. I am going to have very soon, I'm going to be having a 3-day challenge where we're going to be taking you step by step on how to kickstart your business, with the right mindset and some action steps that you can take to get you going and moving. So if you guys want to be part of that, make sure you stay tuned, or put me on the chat, or put me on the comment. See, he's ready to go. So, okay, so here's what we're going to do. Okay, so we're going to be having, would you guys like that? Would you guys like to have a 3-day challenge where we go through, like, hi, Army, where we go through how to kickstart your business with the right mindset? Put yes on the chat if that's you, if you would love that, okay? So let's go through why must we have a vision, okay? First, let's talk about why, okay? And then we'll talk about the how, okay? Because if the why is clear, okay, the how becomes very easy, okay? All right, awesome, Luisa. Okay, number one, if you have anything to write with, you definitely want to take some notes. I'm going to give you 4 reasons, okay? 4 reasons. Actually 5. I'm going to add something else that I personally feel. I'm going to give you 5 reasons why it's so important to have a vision, okay? And if somebody's watching this, he already knows who he is. He's going to be like, about time, Karla, because he always challenges me, like, what's your vision? I'm like, I don't know. Like, So number 1, okay? When you have a vision, okay, it gives you purpose and direction. So number 1, it gives you purpose and direction. Okay, now if you're talking about a vision for your business, then you're going to give you purpose and direction for your business. But if you're talking about your life, it's going to give you a purpose and direction for your life, okay? Number 2, it's going to help you define short-term and long-term goals. Okay, number 2, it's going to help you define short-term and long-term goals, okay? This is so important. So if you're somebody that you struggle creating goals, I'll be honest with you, okay? Like, this is something challenging for me. I know you're like thinking, really? Like, yes, because I don't know why. Actually, I don't. Maybe I should explore that. Like, I set myself like a goal for the month, or like if I'm qualifying to the next level, I'm crystal clear on that goal. But I'll be honest with you, once I accomplish that goal, I know intellectually that I should be putting together another goal, okay? And I'm going to tell you right now in a minute why I haven't done it, that I feel if you're like me, this is why, okay? But we'll get there in a second. So number 1, having vision is going to give you purpose and direction. Okay, so it's going to have a purpose for your life, and you're going to have a direction. Like, okay, you're going to be able to have a better idea as to what you need to do. Okay. Number 2, it's going to give you, it's going to help you define short-term and long-term goals, okay? So these short-term goals are going to be something like, okay, so if you have a vision, let's say you have a vision for your business, okay? Then when you're having a vision for your business, when you're starting to define the goals, you're going to be looking at, okay, this is what I want to do, and then these are the short-term goals I need to put in place. These are the long-term goals I need to put in place in order to hit that vision, in order to have that vision, okay? Number 3, okay? It's going to guide the decisions you make. This is really big, okay? Number 3, it's why we need to have a vision. Number 3 is because it's going to guide the decisions that you make. Have you ever been the type of person that you're like, should I do that or should I do that? Should I do that? That sounds like a good idea. Maybe I should do that, right? So when you have a very clear vision for your life and or your business, these decisions come a little easier because the decisions will be based on the vision that you have. I'll give you a very quick example that I think all of us can relate to, okay? Like, let's say if you want to lose, the vision of your life, of your body, is to have like a very toned, healthy, fit, energetic body. Okay, let's say that's the vision and you visualize how you're going to look, your hair, your skin, your nails, your skin, your nails, your body, you're toned, you're fit, you're healthy, you're full of energy. Like you have this clear vision of how your body is, how you want your body to be. Okay, so when somebody brings, I don't know, some beer, okay, as an example, okay, and you're like, okay, well, maybe I'll enjoy one, but you're not going to enjoy a 6-pack. Actually, you won't even enjoy it because it's not in alignment with your vision, okay? And you might not even have one because you're like, that's like 300 calories. That's like a treadmill run. Nope, thank you, okay? And you're going to push it away, right? That's just a very generic, but I think an example all of us can relate, and that is when you have a vision that's really clear, your decisions, they're going to be easier to make, okay? So they're going to guide the decisions you make. Number 4, and this one's really great, okay? And that is that when you have vision, it also helps, so write this down, helps to set your expectations. So when you have a vision, it's going to help to set your expectations. So for example, let's say, so one of the people that I asked what their vision was, okay, which, well, here, I'll give you that one in a second, okay? And then number 5, okay? Number 5, and that is that when you have, why you need to have a vision is because it energizes your life. It energizes you. It gives you energy. Okay? So number 5, it gives you energy. So number 1, it gives you, why we need to have vision. Number 1, it gives you purpose and direction. Number 2, it defines your short-term goals and your long-term goals. Okay? Number 3, it guides the decisions you make. And number 4, it helps to set your expectations. And number 5, it energizes you and it just gives you, you just feel full of life. Okay? So I'm going to give you an example of the last 2. So I already gave you an example of some of the first 3, okay? But these last 2, I'm going to give you a personal example. So when I was sitting here at the table, actually I'm in my backyard, and I was talking to these ladies, and one of the ladies, she said to me, she goes, my husband has a very clear vision. And I'm like, okay, well, what is it? And she started saying, okay, my husband, he wants to retire by the time he's 50, okay? And he wants to retire with at least $2 million in the bank, okay? And he wants to have, residual income of X amount. He's going to create this thing in Mexico, in Michoacan, where he's going to have parties. And she started telling us, his name is Hector's vision. And I got to tell you, listening to her describe his vision gave me so much energy. I was like, I want that. It left me inspired. I don't want to say number 5 is inspired, but when you're inspired, you're full of energy, right? You cannot be energetic when you're uninspired. Like, energy means you are inspired, okay? And so, number 1, purpose and direction. Why does he go to work every day, right? Because he has a very clear vision. So it gives him purpose and it gives him a direction as to what he needs to do. Number 2, it helped him define short-term goals. Like, what does he need to do by this day? What does he need to do by that day, right? Number 3, it guides his decisions. So like he was in Mexico when she was telling us this. So it was like there was something that needed to happen because he's making this party center in Mexico. His decision was guided by his vision. Okay, so his decision was guided by his vision. Okay. Number 3, it helps set his expectations. Like he's giving himself, I don't know how old he is. Let's just say he's 45. I don't know how old he is. Let's say it's 5 years. So he's not going to expect this 2 million overnight. He has a 5-year plan. Okay. So when he doesn't see things happening, it's like, okay, it's okay, but I'm on track. I'm on track because the goal is in 5 years or whatever your goal may be. So it helps you set those expectations. How many times do we get discouraged because we have false expectations? We have false expectations. Like you want to, have a business that generates $1 million a year and you don't even give yourself 3 to 5 years to build it. Like it doesn't happen overnight. Okay, now some of us created it really, really fast, but I'll be honest with you. I created $1 million an annual sales business, okay? But I worked my butt off, okay? And here's the thing. I'm just going to be honest with you. Because I didn't do it solidly, in a solid way, okay? It didn't stay there. It came down, but it didn't come down like that much, but it did come down because I needed to be a better leader. I needed to learn more maturity, etc. And I was devastated when it came down. Now, when I have a huge momentum, I already know my expectations they're very defined. Like, okay, I already know it's going to go up and it's going to come down, but it's going to come down and it's going to stay higher than my last plateau. Okay. So it helps you set those expectations. And, I'm sure Hector is the guy's name, right? He's full of energy when he thinks about the vision that he's creating for his life. Oh, yeah, and they want to build a house and a ranch, So they have all these visions. So this is why we need to have a vision, okay? Again, number 1, gives you purpose and direction. Number 2, it defines short-term and long-term goals. Number 3, it guides the decisions that you make. This one's huge, okay? Number 4, it sets your expectations. And number 5, it gives you a ton of energy and you feel inspired. So if you're finding yourself not feeling very inspired these days, I'm going to invite you to ask yourself, do you have a vision? Okay. And if you don't, that might be why you're not feeling energetic. You're not feeling inspired. You're not feeling on the move. You're not feeling like driven. Okay. So I would love to know here on the chat, you guys, let me know how many of you guys feel that you could, okay, implement this. How many of you guys type me on the chat? How many of you guys feel that you can implement these steps of having a vision, of why it's important? So type me on the chat while I grab some CR7 and lift off. You guys already know I'm obsessed with lift off and CR7 together. Okay, cool. Thank you, Chris. All right, thank you, Patricia. Okay, Luisa. Okay. All right, who else? Let me see. I know we're not the only one, okay? All right, Lori. Okay. Yes, healthy vibes. Oh, my husband's on here. Okay. All right, Karla, I love your name. I thought you had a call, Sergio. Okay. So, all right. So this is why we need to have a vision, okay? Now let's get into how. How do we define our vision, okay? So I got to confess, okay, when I was doing this, I'm like, man, how many times have I heard this before? Like, why have I never done it? Like, anyway, do you guys ever feel that way? That you're like, oh my God, like how many more times do I need to hear something before I actually take action, right? That's my son. Okay, this is the beauty of having a home-based business and you work around your family, okay? You just do what you can. All right, so for those of you who are moms out there, you guys get me. Okay, so how do we create a vision for our lives and or our business, okay? So here are some steps that I'm going to recommend that we take because I'm going to do it with you, okay? Number 1, we must identify what's important to us, okay? The vision cannot inspire you if you don't know, if it's not yours. It cannot be somebody else's vision, okay? It cannot be your parents' vision for your life. Like maybe they wanted you to be a doctor and you're like, I want to play rock and roll. I don't know, right? Like this vision has to be yours. So number 1, sit down and write what matters to you, what's important to you, okay? And just write. Don't even think. Just write. See, here's the thing. Some of us think way too much, okay? And we think ourselves out of everything. We think ourselves out of everything, okay? Now, some of us need to think a little more, because I just throw myself and I'm like, oh, darn it, I need a life jacket or whatever, right? So we need to have a little bit of both. But sometimes you guys think yourselves way too much, try to get everything perfect. No, just right. Number one, identify what's important to you. Number two, okay, be creative. In fear of anything that keeps you frustrated all the time. Okay, I'll talk about that in a little bit, okay? Slim Shady 27. Okay, so I'll get that to you in a second. So number two, be creative, okay? Be creative, meaning like if you had no limits, what would that look like? What would you want to have? What would you want to experience? Like, yes, what's important to you. And in that, think about what, if I had no limits, if money was not an issue, if time was not an issue, okay, what would I want? How would I want to live? What would I want to create? What would I want to experience? Who would I be around? Okay, so number two, be creative. Number three, if you can, okay, after you do the first two, really make an effort to write your vision statement. Meaning like, it's almost like a declaration for your life. Okay, so for example, something that moves you, because you might write a long paragraph as what you want and what you want to have, and you're going to get creative on what you want to live and experience and all of that, right? But if you can create like a sentence or two that you can easily glance at and look at it and then like get inspired, and it'll fill you up with energy. So for example, this guy Hector, right, that I was talking about, okay, Brenda, if you're watching this, make sure your husband sees this video, because he is my example, right? And so, for example, right, his vision statement would be like, I am, and you want to write it in the declaration as if you already have it, okay? So, like an example, okay, I, Hector, we, or maybe he's going to include his family, we have over $2 million in our bank account, and all our investments are generating over $20,000 of residual income. My property in Michoacan is creating, beautiful experiences for families and generating over $5,000 a month on events and events and parties. Okay, we live in a beautiful ranch. Okay, I think they want to go to Temecula. We live in a beautiful Temecula ranch full of animals, lots of land that my kids and my family can enjoy. Okay, that would be like a vision statement. That's like maybe 2-3 sentences. Something where you can just look at it, read it, and it's gonna generate all that energy, okay, and passion for you to do what you need to do. So maybe one day he's going to feel, discouraged in business, because it's going to happen, okay? Or maybe he had a nasty customer or a nasty something, and he's like, oh, is this even worth it? Okay? And he can read this, and boom, remember why he's doing what he's doing. This is very different than having a why. Okay, yes, having a why is important, but this is more than that. This is like a vision for your life, like with what do you want to create for yourself? Okay, so the sun is like beating on my face. Okay, so that is an example of a vision statement. Okay, so if you guys can create that, you can look at it and you're going to write it in the declaration. You're not going to be like, I would like to have, none of that. Okay, own what you want. Okay, as if you already have it. Okay, number 4. So number 1, identify what's important to you. Number 2, be creative. Let your mind go. No limitations, okay? Number 3, create a vision statement / in a declaration way, okay? Number 4, outline your action steps, okay? This is so important, because if you don't have a plan, then you're going to be inspired for a whole lot of 1 minute, okay? So you want to start writing down a plan as to how you're going to achieve, and you don't have to know everything, okay? You don't have to know everything, but for example, maybe, again, this guy Hector, right? I don't know, okay? I'm just creating his action steps, but for him, it might be maybe one of his action steps is he owns a company right now. It's I think he wants to sell it. I don't know. If not, then maybe that's just something that I think he should. I don't know, right? But maybe he wants to sell that business eventually. So maybe part of his action steps is build his business, okay, build X business to earn X amount and sell it. Like, that's going to be one of his action steps. Another action step could be like, visit Temecula, okay, to find that dream property, that dream home. Another action step might be, create that house that he wants in Michoacan for the parties by 2021, by December 2021. Okay? Actually, he does have action steps because he's going to finish it by his parents' anniversary. So this guy is already doing all of this, okay? So, having those action steps in order for it to look and feel attainable. Because if you're like, okay, I have this beautiful vision, okay, but you have no way of achieving it, you're going to be inspired for like a whole 1 second, and then you're going to be discouraged because you're going to be like, okay, well, this is great. I want to do this, but I don't even know how, okay? Which is, by the way, you guys, one of the reasons why I'm going to be creating this 3-day jumpstart into your side hustle business. We're going to be doing, a couple of friends of mine and I are going to be doing like a 3-day jumpstart, 3-day jumpstart workshop. Okay, there we go. I can't even think. Okay. But what it's going to be like, how do you get yourself started on a business that can create unlimited income potential? Okay, so here's the deal, and I say this with a lot of respect. If you just have a job, okay, it's very unlikely that you feel very inspired with the vision. And the reason is because in a job, you're very capped. Like, there's only so much money you can make, okay? Even if you're like the best employee, there's only so much that your employer is going to pay you. So the reality is you need to have a business. Nowadays, more than ever, people are really understanding that they need to have a way to make multiple streams of income. Like, it's not enough to just have a job. It is not enough. That's great, mi amor. It's not enough to just, have one employment. Before, in the Brady Bunch days, one parent could work and the other parent could stay home, right? And it was fine. Not today. Then it was like 2 parents had to work in order to be able to pay and have a life, right? And, now that's not even enough. Now it's like both parents have to work, and if they really want to have lifestyle money, okay, they need to have like a side business, side hustle, side something. They need to have a way to make extra income. Some people will, sell things that they're good at, right? Because they need that extra income. So it is more relevant today than ever for you to have a home-based business. Having something that you can do from home, around your children, running around the house, okay? And or part-time around your current job. Like, that is more important than ever. And for the people that are like, well, I don't know how to do it. Well, that is not an excuse either, because there's never been more information ever like there is today. You literally could Google just about anything that you really want to learn, okay? You literally can YouTube almost anything you want to learn how to do, okay? And there are businesses such as, myself, that have coaches that help you how to build a business. Like, I cannot even tell you, yesterday I was doing a call with Barbara. I don't know if she's still on, but, and Barbara, if you're on, put a fire emoji for me. And she's like, Karla, you're on fire. I was like, girl, I could talk business all day long. I could teach people how to build a business all day long. Like, that energizes me. That makes me feel alive. That makes me feel like I matter. That gives me purpose. That is my impact in the world. Like, I can't even describe to you how that makes me feel to teach people how to build a business from home with Wi-Fi. Like, you have a phone, you have the internet, I can show you how to make some money. You don't have a phone, you don't have the internet, but you're willing to learn, I can show you how to build a business, person to person. Like, that's really how I build it. I started my business with no social media. I started my business all person to person, okay? This is not typical, but this is possible. I was 23 years old, Okay, I was 23 years old. Oh, thank you. I was 23 years old when I first started my business. Okay, I just graduated from college, and I remember seeing all these people making all kinds of crazy money, living an amazing lifestyle because they had worked so hard. Okay, nothing comes easy. I tell people, even people that they say drug dealing is easy money, no, it's not. You're putting your life at risk. Like, everything takes effort. Okay, there's no such thing as get rich overnight. There's no such thing as easy anything, okay? If it's easy, most likely you won't be able to sustain it, okay? But, so I was 23 years old, and I remember, like, thinking, like, I was working for a company, and I remember thinking, like, there's got to be more out of life. Like, I'm stuck in traffic in LA, working for this particular company, and looked around, everybody was, like, in a little cubicle, and I'm like, I don't want this for my life. Okay, I remember thinking, like, I don't want this, and all it took, and write this down, pain gets you off your butt. Okay, pain is what gets you off your butt. That's what gets you off your butt, is the pain of whatever. And it is the pleasure. Yes, of course, I will repost this, okay? I'm screen recording because I need to listen to this again. Don't worry, you guys. I will put it. You're so sweet. I will put it on my IG story, okay? I record everything, okay? And put it on my IG story. Oh, my son just gave me a kiss. So pain is what gets you off your butt, okay? But it is the pleasure, the happiness, that's what's going to keep you moving. Okay, so sometimes you're thinking, like, why don't I do something? Okay, so it's because you haven't inflicted enough pain in whatever it is that matters to you. So I was working for this company, and I remember, so I say this humbly, okay, I'm a very intelligent woman, okay, and I can figure things out fairly easy, especially, maybe not now, okay, but when I was 23, my brain was like this, okay? Mommy brain really did something to me. By the way, that stuff is real, okay? But anyway, so I got off the elevator, and I remember this particular gentleman saw that I had something in my hand, right? And I'm not going to say what it is because then you'll know the company, and I don't want to talk about bad about anybody. And then he was like, oh, did you do that? I'm like, yeah, I was 23. So, when you don't know, you just do it. Yes? That's another problem. When we know too much, we do nothing. I'm including myself in that formula, okay? So I was like, yeah. And he said, I've been here for 20 years and I still don't know how to do XYZ. And I remember going, oh, and I probably was a little cocky, if I really am honest with myself. I probably was like, I don't know, I probably was like a little cocky 23-year-old, 22-year-old. And I remember he made a comment like, show off, or something like that, right? And I remember going back to my desk thinking, like, I should never, like, I can't shine. I don't know how, like, what came into my mind. Oh, thank you, mi amor. But I remember thinking, like, I can't shine or something like that. And that was it. Like, I went home. I remember I drove home and I called my dad crying. And I was like, oh, I like it here. And I remember my dad saying to me, I did not send you to college to make another bling, 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 bling rich. You guys can use your imagination, okay? And I was like, that's it. I quit. And that wasn't, no, actually, I didn't quit right away. Then the following week, okay, I landed an over $1 million account with the city of Long Beach XYZ things, okay? And I remember going to my boss and telling her, like, oh, like, they're going to buy blah, 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 $1 million worth. And she's like, oh my gosh, congratulations, you did great. And that's all I got. They didn't give me a commission. Nothing. I didn't get anything for it because I was working under her. So she got all the credit. She got all the commission. I had to drive to and I was like, this freaking sucks. And I remember thinking, like, I'm out of here. Like, and that's when I was driving home crying. And I remember my dad telling me, I didn't send you to college to make another son about rich, and I quit my job. I'm not going to say for you to do that. I was 23 years old. I wasn't married. I had no children. I had no debt. I had no expenses, well, except for my rent, and that was it. I quit and I started my own business, and with $6 to my name, I got started. And I remember thinking, like, okay, I am going to treat this business like $1 million business. Like, I'm going to treat this business like $1 million business. So it started to respond like that. How the hell did I get on this topic? I have no idea. But anyway, so, why was I telling you guys all this? Somebody remind me what the heck I was talking about. But anyway, see, that mommy brain is real. But, and so the reason I guess I'm sharing this with you is because nowadays, we need to realize that if you really want, that's why I was saying it, because if you really want to have a vision for your life, you got to understand how you're going to be able to create it. You don't need to know the details, like, you don't need to know, like, every single step, but, like, okay, what is the vehicle that is going to allow me to get that vision? Because if you want to have, let's just say, as this gentleman, okay, yes, pain is what gets you off your butt. Thank you, Lori. That's why I was saying that, okay? So if you want to have a vision like this gentleman, so whatever it is that you're doing, as an example, right now, is not going to allow you to have that vision come into fruition. So you're going to get discouraged. You're going to be like, well, why even have one? Because I'm never going to be able to buy that $2 million home, as an example, right? And so sometimes it takes pain to get us off our butt. So it was because of what that gentleman said to me off the elevator, because I didn't get paid for my efforts, okay, that is what made me take that leap of faith and put my future in my own hands. Now, for those of you guys who have responsibilities, who have children, who have kids, bills and all that stuff, you can't just quit your job. That would be so irresponsible. Okay? But here's the thing. You also cannot just stay in your job. That is also irresponsible. Irresponsible to your future. Irresponsible to your future self, because the reality is, if you want to have a bigger, better life, you must start taking actions to move you forward to that. Okay? And the last thing that I don't have here on my notes, but I'm going to tell you that I feel one of the reasons I'm going to put myself on blast here. Okay? I do feel that it's so important to be transparent. Like, I am so not normal. Okay, I'm not the best mom. I do the best I can. My son drives me crazy because he's just like me. Right? And it's like, oh my God, payback. I'm not the most whatever. I'm a human. So I love putting myself on blast because I feel like, sometimes people think like they're the only ones. And I can assure you that whatever you're going through, you are not, especially as a mom, you are not the only one. So give yourself some love and give yourself some space of like forgiveness, like you're doing the best you can. Okay. And strive to do better and strive to have and do more. The last thing I'm going to say on this list of how. So number 1, identify what's important to you. Number 2, be creative. Number 3, create a vision statement. I gave you an example. Number 4, outline your steps. Yes, Karla. And number 5, okay, is how you're going to create a vision is number 5. You must surround yourself with bigger players than you. That one is probably the most important one of everything I've just said right now. You must surround yourself with bigger fishes than you. Okay? And the reason I say that is because you might not even know what's possible because you've never seen anything different. My son is drawing on my back. Se cayó. You might not even know what's possible because your inner circle only does so much, right? And so the other day I was talking to my friend Jerry and I asked her, what's your vision? And she started to share it. My lovely son. And she started to share it with me, right? And as she was sharing it with me, you guys, I was so inspired. I'm like, I need to think bigger. I need to have more. I need to I got off the phone so inspired with her. Okay, so one of the things that I'm going to highly recommend for those of you guys who are in our business, this is why you cannot miss trainings. Okay, this is why. Say hi, Sebastian. Okay, look at his teeth. He's going to definitely need braces. I better save some money for that, okay? Go. Where's your hero? You sit right here, okay? This is why you need to be around people, okay? So you can start seeing what's possible. This is why you need to, plug into trainings, because you need to hear what's possible, okay? And if you're finding yourself discouraged, if you're finding yourself like, I don't know if I can, I don't know if this is worth it, I'm really going to invite you, take it on. Take on all these steps, okay? Take them on, okay? And surround yourself with people that have more than what you have, okay? And I'm going to tell you something, and I'm going to finish with this. Get ready to be uncomfortable. Get ready to be uncomfortable. This morning I was talking to my husband, and I was sharing how there's this specific people, and, and we were like talking, and we were like, I was giving him some observations of what I observed about certain individuals. Right? And then I told him, one of the things that I'm very aware of, okay, and I'm okay with that, okay, I'm trying to get better, but is that I make some people very uncomfortable. Okay? Like, there are certain people that they have wounds that I poke at that they don't even know they have. Ow, Sebastian. Is that, that there are people that Leah was sharing with us this the other day, that if somebody gets bothered with us, or with you, it's nothing to do with you. It's because you are poking wounds they don't even know they have. Okay, now if you did something rude, well, that's a whole nother thing, right? But if you, even then, there's people that might be rude to me, and I'm like, whatever, right? Because I don't have those issues. And then there's sometimes that people are not even rude to me, and I get butt hurt, because those are wounds that I might not even know I have. Right? So you got to surround yourself with people that have more, right? That are creating more, that want more. And you got to be ready to be uncomfortable. You don't compare yourself to them. You don't compare yourself to them. You don't compare yourself to anyone, okay? But know that if they say something to you and you get uncomfortable, or you get your butt hurt, or you get your feelings hurt, okay? Then stop if you want to better yourself. Stop and think, why am I bothered? Stop and think, why does that trigger me? Because it's never, somebody can literally call me a bitch, and I won't even be bothered. I'm like, all right, whatever. I wonder what she's going through, right? But if I was called a bitch when I was little, as an example, by, I don't have a stepfather, but let's say I had a stepfather, right? And that triggers me, okay? Well, then when that person calls me that, and I'm like, I have to stop and be like, okay, why? Oh my God, my stepdad used to call me that, and I never liked it because my mom never stood up for me, and all these issues, right? I'm just giving you a really ridiculous example for me, because I don't have a stepdad. I don't think anyway, right? And so, that's the thing you want to look at, is like when something triggers you, why? Okay, so how do you create a vision, besides everything I said, is surround yourself with bigger, better things and people. And only then will your mind start to stretch, okay? Go to lunch at a nice place. Even if you don't buy food, go in there and be like, oh, I think I was waiting for, oh, no, okay, no, I got to go, and they're never here. Whatever, grab a cup of coffee, right? Go to a nice hotel. See, if you want luxury, okay? Thank you, Sebastian. If you want luxury, you got to surround yourself with it so you know what's possible. Okay, he's not going to let me finish this. But anyway, so I hope this live serves you, okay? Why we must have vision, all right? So let's recap in case you got here late. Go back and listen to it. But number one, okay, is it's going to give you purpose and direction. Number two, it's going to define short-term and long-term goals. It's going to guide the decisions you make, okay? Number 4, it's going to help set your expectations. And number 5, it's going to inspire and give you energy. Okay? and how you identify your how do you create a vision? Number 1, identify what's important to you. Number 2, be creative, let your mind go. Okay. Number 3, create a vision statement / declaration. Okay. Number 4, outline your steps. And number 5, put a big star next to this one. Surround yourself with bigger, better people and things. Okay. I'm not saying that they're better in what I'm saying, like people that have achieved what you want. You got to surround yourself with them. Pick up the phone, call them. If you cannot reach them, go on YouTube and find people, go to places, surround yourself with beautiful things, you know, and more importantly, more than anything else, speak good to yourself. Okay. You deserve to have an amazing life. You deserve to have it all. So like I always say, make sure you dream big, you work hard, and you go for it. If you love this, share it with somebody. Leave a comment below. Thank you so. Now you're very welcome. Okay, so as soon as this is over, comment below. I would love to hear what you got out of it. And when you follow these steps and you actually do them, I would love for you to send me a message and say, look, Karla, here's my vision, okay? Or leave it in the comments. But yeah, share this with somebody that you feel could benefit, because at the end of the day, if we don't have vision, what they say, without vision, we perish, all right? So dream big, work hard.